It's Blossom, and I'm back with another lovely podcast. So excited for this. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Bless, bless, bless. Love and peace will be at rest. So today I'm going to discuss empaths and what empaths are, and the signs of empaths, and why empaths and narcissists seem to be attracted to each other. So what exactly is an empath? What is it? An empath is a highly sensitive person who feels everything around them. Everything. Think of the word empathy and what that means. That is where the word empath comes from, empathy, because empathy is just feeling what somebody else is feeling. And empaths feel what other people feel directly through their body, whether that's psychologically or physically. So they take on other people's emotions as if they were their own. So the first sign that you are an empath is that you are sensitive. And I'm going to just break this myth about sensitivity. Sensitivity does not equate to weakness. It never will, and it never has. Sensitivity is a beautiful gift because you are in touch with yourself. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that people can walk all over you. That's not what sensitivity means. The reason why sensitivity gets a bad rep is because our culture thinks sensitivity is a gateway to danger when it's not. Being in tune with your emotions and your higher self, that's not a weakness, that's a strength. The second sign that you are an empath is that you are introverted. You like your space. And the reason why empaths like their space is because when they go places, whether they go to work, school, or they go to church, or they go to a hospital, they are absorbing all that energy. They feel it. So that is why they like their space, so they can rejuvenate and release all the energy that they soaked up. The third sign of an empath is that you are highly intuitive. So you feel things about people. You feel things about people and places, and you end up always being right. You feel things. And a lot of people with empaths, they always try to make them doubt their intuition. Like, oh, you always thinking negative. It's not even that you're thinking negative. It's your intuition is on point. So you know when somebody's not a beautiful person. You know when some place is not meant for you to go. And that's a really good gift to have. Okay, now the fourth sign. Now we at number 4. The fourth sign is obvious. You absorb other people's emotions. So that is the number 1 sign of an empath, actually. Just absorbing other people's feelings. And you absorb your partners, your families, your coworkers, just people around you. And you take on their emotions and you feel them through your body as if you were going through the same thing. The 5th and final sign of an empath is that you feel overwhelmed by large crowds. And this is me. I'm an empath, and I like to sing, I like to paint, I like to do poetry, and I perform frequently. And I do feel overwhelmed by large crowds. And sometimes it just depends on the energy, because there's times when I've performed my poetry and I felt extremely confident, and then there's times where I've performed and I felt like insecure about what I was saying, because the energy, it depends on the energy of the crowd. But all in all, either way, it's still overwhelming for me. Now, there are 2 types of empaths in my opinion. I feel like there's unbalanced empaths and balanced empaths. And I used to be an unbalanced empath, so I'm qualified to talk about it. And first sign of an unbalanced empath is that you take everything personal. Everything somebody does, you think it's about you. The way they treat you, you think it's a reflection of you, and it's not. The second sign of an unbalanced empath is that you look for external validation. So let's say you go to the mall and you buy something. Instead of you just saying, hey, I like this, you got to go ask everybody and their mama, is this cute? Is it ugly? You think so-and-so like it? Like, you're not trusting your own internal guidance system. You're looking for validation from other people that aren't even qualified to give it to you, because they don't know you like you know you. And it's okay to get a second opinion sometimes, but if you constantly do this with every single thing, you are an unbalanced empath. The third sign of an unbalanced empath is that you treat people as a mirror that reflects back to you. And I read this book last summer, 2018 summer, by Doreen Virtue, and it's called Assertiveness for Earth Angels. I highly recommend that book. It's a 10 out of 10 because it really teaches you how to be assertive and how to love yourself. And in one chapter, Doreen talked about people treating other people as a mirror that reflects back to them. So if somebody was mad at them, they felt like a bad person, or if somebody was pleased with them, they felt like a good person. And this is something that unbalanced empaths do. They treat other people as mirrors. So they'll base their self-worth off of how somebody is feeling about them. The fourth sign of an unbalanced empath is that they always feel victimized. Like everything, it goes along with taking things personal. They always think somebody's doing something to them. A lot of unbalanced empaths don't recognize that a lot of things are not happening to them, it's happening for them. The fifth sign of an unbalanced empath is that they don't have boundaries. They don't. They let people treat them any kind of way. They let people talk to them any kind of way, and they don't say anything, and they don't speak up about it. The sixth sign of an unbalanced empath is that they put other people's needs before their own. They're always trying to make people feel good about themselves and fix everybody's problems, and you just can't do it. Can't do that. The seventh sign of an unbalanced empath is someone who is an enabler. Whether you're allowing somebody to drink and do drugs, or you always try to step in and fix people's problems, you're enabling them, because you're allowing them to harm their bodies, for one, and then two, you're trying to fix people's problems for them, and they will never learn. A person has to grow and make mistakes on their own. And if you're enabling, you're going to be like, okay, I can fix it for you. Or if you're enabling somebody who drinks and does drugs, you're like, okay, yeah, just do it one more time. You're enabling them to do that instead of saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. It's just speaking up about it instead of letting it happen, because there's dangers when it comes to drugs and alcohol. Now, if you're an unbalanced empath, you can become a balanced empath, and I know because I became a balanced empath. And to become a balanced empath, you need to stop taking things personal. Stop. Because it's not about you. You need to protect your energy. You need to take care of yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to find out what you like and what you don't like, so you can know yourself better. And if you're into astrology, you can look up your sun and your moon sign. Anything that helps you know more about you, you can do that. You need to set boundaries. You need to let people know, hey, you can't do this. You can't cross this line. And if somebody crosses your boundaries, correct their ass and let them know, I told you not to do that and you did. Make sure that you're honoring your boundaries, because a lot of people like to set boundaries and not stand firm with what they say. So honor your boundaries. Learn to differentiate between your feelings and somebody else's feelings. Just because somebody's feeling negative, that doesn't mean you have to feel negative. Hold space for people to feel their feelings without trying to save them. This is a key element to being a balanced empath. Hold space for people. You don't have to give advice. You don't have to make people feel better. Just listen, because listening is healing. That's what people want you to do. They want you to listen, because a lot of people want to be heard, and that's all they need. You don't have to give advice. You don't have to try to fix their problems, because that's not what people need. That's not going to help somebody heal. It's just going to enable them to keep doing what they're doing and not looking at the bigger picture of what's really happening in their life. A balanced empath, they speak their truth. So speak your truth. Tell people how you really feel. Stop worrying if you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, because I guarantee you they're not going to be worried about yours. Be selective about who you allow in your life. Stop just, oh, this person is nice to me, or they commented on my picture, they call me pretty. That doesn't mean they need to be in your life. So you can become a balanced empath. And that's why narcissists love unbalanced empaths, because they like people that don't love themselves and that don't set boundaries, so they can just control you. Narcissists like to control and take energy from you, and if you're unbalanced, they're going to get it. But when you become balanced, they can't take from you anymore. Sure, there's going to be attraction, because the real attraction is on a soul level. That's why they attracted to empaths, because empaths have this very high light and high frequency. That's why. They can be attracted to you, but they can't come in your life. So if you want to be a balanced empath, stop allowing narcissists in your life. They don't have to be in your life. They can be attracted to you, but they don't have to be in your life. They're not welcome. Anyways, empaths, protect your energy and your light and love yourself. And if you want to become balanced, you can. Just put in the work.